I watched In a Violent Nature this morning, courtesy of IFC Films. They hooked us up with a screener. I was very intrigued. I saw the trailer a month or two ago. Didn't want to get my hopes up. I have seen like some mixed reviews so far from people that have seen early screenings, so I wasn't sure what to expect. I gotta say that this is my favorite movie of the year. This is up there with one of my favorite movies of all time. Definitely horror slashers of all time. I don't know if I'm like too hyped on it because I just watched it, but I absolutely loved it. When I was watching this, I got a lot of vibes of like Madman Mars. You have this lore of this character that haunts these woods, The Burning as well. And even Friday the 13th Part 2, especially with the campfire scene where they're telling the story of Johnny and how he haunts the woods now. And you get his entire backstory. It was a nice little summary of the character without it being like overboard. There was something very like meditative about this movie. You're following, it's like an over the shoulder, behind the killer's POV. Almost like a video game in a way. Kind of reminded me of like Resident Evil 4. I don't know. But as you're following this character, the juxtaposition of him doing these violent, horrific things with like the birds chirping and you're just in this beautiful forest walking around, I found it like very soothing. And my cat loved it too. She was locked in watching the movie. It's a good cat watch. Lots of birds. So points for that. Some of the best kills I've seen in a long time. I guess people would maybe make comparisons to Terrifier 2 in terms of like, you know, there's movies where they say like, wait until you see that kill. And there's a couple of these in there where I'm like, I mean, I've kind of seen it all. I'm not like, you know, super squeamish when it comes to that kind of stuff, but I was just enamored with the practical effect work and like, how the hell did they do that effect? There were just some really solid kills in this thing. There were also moments in this that, I mean, I hate to make a comparison to Halloween, but there's a particular sequence where you see Johnny, this zombie-like villain. He's just hanging out in the woods while these characters are hanging out on a porch, and you see his face. It's like dimly lit, sort of like in Halloween where you just get a shade cast on him and you know he's there but they don't see him. I just love stuff like that. Maybe sometimes it plods along a little too slow. I can see why some people would be like, okay, enough, we get it. We're following this guy through the woods. Let's speed it up. But I loved it. Anytime it was just tracking him through the woods, I was just so locked in, just curious to see what he was going to do next. And like I said, it was very, I don't know, peaceful to watch this. Even though that's weird to say. I love the entire movie. But I was really sold after the first on-screen death. After that, I was like, I'm in. The way he acquires his firefighter mask. By the way, I thought it was like a old school diver mask. It was actually a old school firefighter's mask. But the way he acquires said mask, like how he... I'm bad at doing non-spoilers, but the way he gets his mask, after that happens, I was like, this movie is amazing. I love it. The characters in the movie, the victims. If you're looking for a movie where all the characters are really fleshed out, you're not going to find that in this movie, and that's totally okay. Given the type of movie this is, where we follow the killer from his POV, and we only spend time with these characters as long as he is. There's characters talking on a back porch. we hear what he hears, and then he moves along. But the time we spend with those characters, they did seem very grounded, and all the conversations they had were natural. I was worried that since this was going to be a throwback type of movie, that there were going to be like caricatures of 80s stereotype characters, you know, like people showing up in spandex and I don't know, just being obnoxious. But for the most part, all the background characters in this felt very natural. You don't get to spend enough time with them to develop any sort of relationship like, oh no, I don't want this person to die or this person. It's not really about that. And I'm totally okay with that. I can see why some people would want more of that kind of thing. But if we're doing an old school, early 80s backwoods slasher, I mean, this nailed it. I love this movie so much. I might watch it again actually tonight. I mean, this is up there, like I said, favorite movie of the year so far. I'm curious to see if anything can top it. I know a lot of people have said, hey, it's kind of boring. It's just a guy walking through the woods. And it's like, yeah, it is. And it's awesome. I love it. I've never seen anything like it. It was so cool to see all this go down from the killer's POV. I was locked in, interested to see what he was going to do next. Like, you see him just walking up from a distance, and we're just walking up with him, and we know he's going to kill these people. So it was just a fascinating, voyeuristic kind of view into a slasher movie that I've never seen done before. I mean, there's been glimpses of it, you know, again, Halloween or something, we get like an over-the-shoulder shot of Michael looking into a window or something, but never like this. So yeah, this gets a huge recommendation for me. I loved it. I think a lot of people are going to enjoy this one. Go see it in theaters. I definitely will. When I was watching this, like, I was having big reactions to certain moments, and I'm not a big reaction kind of person, but even I was like, oh shit, like, damn, we're going there. Especially, there's a couple kills where you want to be in a packed theater when you see this. So yeah, there's my review of In a Violent Nature. I know a lot of you are stoked for this one, and I don't think you're going to be let down. That's all I'll say. Hope I didn't give anything away. I mean, I give this a strong 4.5 out of 5. I had so much fun with this movie. Like I said, gonna watch it again tonight. If you enjoyed this video, give it the old thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. All right, that's it for now. Thanks for tuning in. Catch you next time.